Here is the recap of the first season of The Acolyte. The series takes place 100 years before the rise of the Galactic Empire. The Jedi Order is the main force in these peaceful times. One day on a distant planet, the Master Indara is attacked by an unknown young girl, freely wielding the Force. At first, she tries not to use weapons, which surprises the Jedi. However, the girl uses a trick to kill Indara. The Jedi Council learns of what happened, but does not want to make it public, as their position in the Galactic Republic is precarious, and the death of a Jedi Master by an unknown Avenger will only worsen the situation. Yord and his Padawan are sent in to investigate. A local bartender identifies the killer, and the Jedi guess who it might be. Osha was a Padawan a few years ago, but although she had talent, she stopped training and now works as a mechanic somewhere on the edge of the galaxy. The Jedi find Osha and arrest her, only she assures them that she is innocent. Osha is thrown into a prisoner transport ship and sent to Coruscant, where the Jedi base is located. On the way, the prisoners riot and escape. The ship begins to crash, and the girl tries to save the only prisoner, who lies unconscious. However, when he wakes up, he escapes on the last rescue capsule. The ship goes down, but Osha survives. Meanwhile, the Jedi Council, led by Vernestra, learns of what has happened. The woman contacts Master Saul, who was Osha's teacher in the past. But he assures Vernestra that there is no way Osha could have killed the Jedi Master, as she has not completed her training. However, Vernestra believes that at the very least, Osha should be found and interrogated. Saul takes along his Padawan Jackie, as well as the failed Yord. During this time, Osha has a vision. She remembers her childhood, when her twin sister burned down her entire village, but also died herself. Osha realizes that sister may actually survive that day, and for some reason holds a grudge against the Jedi. At that moment, Saul and his team land on the planet and find Osha. She assures that the Jedi was killed by her twin sister, and to the girl's surprise, Saul believes her words. We are shown May meeting her mysterious master with a red lightsaber. He demands that the girl kill the next Jedi without using the weapon. Soon May arrives on yet another planet, where he sneaks into the local Jedi temple and tries to kill Master Torban. But in front of him, as if an impenetrable wall, and he himself does not come out of the meditation, in which he has been for more than a decade. May has nothing to do but to escape from there before she is discovered. The girl goes to her supplier, Khmer, and asks him for poison to somehow kill the Jedi. The man knows of her master's demand that she kill one of her opponents unarmed and says that poison is still a weapon. May replies that Torban's defenses are impossible to penetrate. Khmer advises his friend to think hard about what might breach the Jedi's defenses, which are really not as good as they might seem at first glance. Saul and his team receive news that Master Torban has been attacked by someone very similar to Osha. The Jedi realize that it can't be her, as the girl has been in their custody all this time. Arriving on the planet, they go to the temple. Meanwhile, May also makes her way inside. This time, the girl decides to talk to Torban. She offers him to atone for the guilt he has carried all these years. If the man accepts the poison, she grants him her forgiveness, after which he drinks the vial. Saul and his team enter Torban's chambers and discover his corpse. The Jedi realize that the killer couldn't have gotten far, and the trail leads them to the supplier Khmer. The frightened guy does not know who is the master who trained May, but informs them that the girl must come here at night. That way the main characters will be able to catch her. They almost succeed, but May escapes. She and her sister notice each other, and May doesn't know that Osha is alive. After that, Khmer and May go to the other planet for their next target, Jedi Master Kelnaka, who lives as a hermit somewhere in the forests. Saul and Osha guess that the Jedi chosen by May are not random. We are shown the past. 16 years ago, on a desolate planet, sisters May and Osha lived with a coven of witches who used the Force and even surpassed the Jedi in some ways. However, by some sort of agreement with the Order, the witches had to live in isolation if they didn't want to be wiped out. May is excited that tonight she will undergo the ritual and become a full-fledged witch. Osha, on the other hand, is terrified of the whole thing, and her dream is to leave the planet, as there are so many interesting things around. In the evening, May passes the rite, but Osha does not manage, as the village learns that the Jedi squad is approaching them. Indara, Torben, Kelnaka, and Sol, who are already familiar to us, ask to see the twins, as they fear that the witches may actually sacrifice them. The Jedi demand that they be allowed to test them and determine if they can become Jedi, under the laws of the Galactic Republic. This demand is legitimate. The next day, May fails the test on purpose. Osha, on the other hand, passes and informs the Jedi that she wants to join them. In the evening, the girl tells the head of the coven that she is going to become a Jedi. Surprisingly, the head allows her to leave the village. However, during the night, May gets angry with her sister and sets a building on fire, causing the entire village to go up in flames. Osha manages to escape the fire, and she meets her twin on a broken bridge. It collapses, and Sol, who appears, manages to save Osha. When they leave the village engulfed in flames, the girl sees that the entire coven is dead. In the present tense, Osha and Sol realize that May is after the Jedi who were in their village that night, and therefore the next victim will be Kelnaka. The council equips a group and they set out to find him. Kimir and May arrive on the planet and try to find Kelnaka in the forest. Along the way, the girl realizes that her path of revenge is pointless, as her sister Osha is actually alive. She is going to surrender to the Jedi and be punished for what she has done. After which, she traps Kimir and escapes from him. However, upon discovering Master Kelnaka's dwelling, she sees that someone has just killed him. A little earlier, a squad of Jedi arrive on the planet and head deep into the forest. Along the way, Osha begins to feel the force within her again. In the evening, they reach Kelnaka's dwelling and Sol senses that he is dead. Suddenly, the same Sith Maze teacher appears behind them and a battle begins. He easily kills one Jedi after another. Only Sol and Osha remain alive. It turns out that Kimir's hiding under the mask and he was pretending to be a silly man all this time. And the Sith wants to kill May because she didn't live up to his hopes and betrayed her master. Eventually, Sol and Osha set huge bugs on the Sith and think he's dead, but in fact he survived. May suddenly appears and knocks Sol out of the stanner. The twins try to talk, but Osha accuses her sister of killing the entire coven 16 years ago and tries to have her arrested. However, May knocks Osha out, changes into her clothes, and returns with a recovered soul to his ship. Osha wakes up in a place unknown to her. She goes outside and sees that she is on an island. She soon realizes that she was dragged here by Kimir. He tells her that the Jedi aren't really as good as they want to appear, and their way is not the only right path. The Force can be controlled in other ways. In the past, Kimir was a Jedi like her, but his teacher betrayed him and now he is a Sith. We later learn that his teacher was Vernestra. The man gives Osha his helmet, made of a rare metal that can block Force. The girl puts it on and sees a future where her sister kills a Sol without the use of weapons, while holding a lightsaber. Together with Kimir, they travel to the sisters' home planet. As they fly away, we see that there is a mysterious figure in the cave. It's probably Darth Plagueis. Meanwhile, Sol and May return to the ship, and a man tries to transmit a distress signal to Coruscant. However, due to interference, the Jedi can't figure out what exactly happened. Master Vernestra and her men go to help and discover corpses and signs of battle. Meanwhile, Sol realizes that the girl is not who she says she is and knocks her out. When May comes to her senses, the Jedi decides to tell her what really happened 16 years ago. Their team was sent to an uninhabited planet to find a Vergence. It's a sort of concentration of Force energy centered around a certain place. For a long time they can't find anything, when suddenly Sol notices two girls in the woods. After following them, he realizes that they are in a coven of witches. The Jedi then go to them to see if the children are in danger. We know what happened next, but with a few more details. The Jedi didn't believe the witches would just let Osha go and decided to control it themselves. Just then, May set fire to the door and subsequently the entire village, but it wasn't the flames that killed the entire coven. The appearance of the Jedi caused the witches to misunderstand, and a battle ensued. Sol thought that the head of the village was going to do some terrible witchcraft somehow and killed the woman. This caused the other witches to start controlling Kelnaka's mind, causing him to attack his friends. However, Indara breaks the spell, and when the connection is cut, all the witches controlling the Jedi are killed. Soon Sol spots the twins on the bridge, and he has to make a difficult choice. He manages to save only one of them, Osha. Back on the ship, the Jedi agree not to tell anyone what really happened. In the present day, Sol tells all this to May and says that with the twins' help, he can find the Virgins. May escapes, and Sol flies after her, even intending to blow up her ship. They end up on the planet where the sisters are from. On Coruscant, a senator learns that several Jedi have died and meets with Vernestra. It turns out that many in the Senate feel that the Jedi Council has too much power. Even though the Jedi represent good, there's no guarantee that at any moment someone could snap and side with evil. In the meantime, Vernestra receives Sol's ship's signal and goes after him. Meanwhile, Kimir attacks the Jedi, but he manages to destroy his lightsaber. That's when May appears. She disarms Sol and accuses him of killing their mother. The man confesses and says that May and Osha are not really sisters. They are one person who has been separated, and actually thanks to the virgins on this planet, they were conceived by force. In fact, they are incredibly powerful, and if the Jedi find out about it, they will surely eliminate them. All of this is heard by Osha, who was unaware of what Sol did 16 years ago. She kills a Jedi without the aid of a weapon, picks up his lightsaber and the dark force within her, colors the weapon in red. The main characters realize that a Jedi squad led by Vernestra has arrived on the planet. The woman, with the help of the Force, learns what happened, as well as what happened 16 years ago, but still sends a Jedi squad to search for the main characters. Meanwhile, Osha agrees to become Kimir's apprentice, but in exchange asks that he help her sister escape. He erases May's entire memory for 16 years. The Sith and his new apprentice then travel to the very island where Osha begins her training. May is captured and taken to Coruscant, where Vernestra learns that her memory has been erased. The Master tells the girl that she has a sister, Osha, and asks for help in finding her apprentice, Kimir. Soon at the council, the senators want to know what really happened. Vernestra lies to them that it was actually Sol who killed all the Jedi since he stepped on the evil side. The senators aren't happy and think it could happen again, so they start to trust the Jedi less. And soon we see that Vernestra is meeting with Master Yoda. This is the end of the first season. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the like button. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.